Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Family Wealth and Other Musings. I am your host, Becky Easton, and today is a Friday, and I want to bring you another just list of quick tips. And in this case, I want to talk to you about 5 things that you can find on IRS.gov besides tax filing info, of course. And, because many people know that IRS.gov has the latest filing info and tax forms, but you may not be aware that it also has a wide range of other tax-related topics. So those include being able to find the taxpayer bill of rights, learning how to apply for 501c3 status, discovering IRS tax volunteer opportunities, keeping up with the latest tax scams, and using the interactive tax assistance. So finding the taxpayer bill of rights is, first of all, what is that? Well, each and every taxpayer has a set of fundamental rights that you should be aware of when you're dealing with the IRS. And you can head over to their website. This particular page is irs.gov/taxpayer-bill-of-rights. And these rights include the right to be informed, the right to quality service, the right to pay no more than the correct amount of tax, the right to challenge the IRS's position and be heard, the right to appeal an IRS decision in an independent forum, the right to finality, the right to privacy, the right to confidentiality, the right to retain representation, and the right to a fair and just tax system. You can head over to irs.gov to read more about these specific rights that you have. Then also, if you are considering registering or applying for 501c3 status and setting up a nonprofit, you can learn all kinds of information on irs.gov. And let's see, it looks like this one is stayexempt.irs.gov. And there are a couple of videos on here about how to get started when you're ready to start filing for tax-exempt status, and additional information and videos and whatnot for new organizations, which is excellent. I mean, there's a lot of questions around that. How to get started, what the requirements are of being a tax-exempt organization. So you've got a lot of info here available to you, whether you're just starting out, you're an existing organization, or what. Big resource library available to you here. Then how about IRS tax volunteers? You can learn to prepare taxes and make a difference in your community at the same time. And simply by volunteering to help your community by preparing taxes free of charge with the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance or Tax Counseling for the Elderly programs. This is really neat. This is something I just learned when I came across this particular article of tips. And this is really neat. Learn how to prepare taxes and help out. You receive training to provide free tax help for low to moderate income families who need assistance preparing their tax returns. And as a volunteer, you join thousands of others who each year prepare millions of tax returns at thousands of tax sites nationwide. And so that is irs.gov/individuals/IRS-tax-volunteers. And get more information about that. And I suppose you could get information there about how to volunteer, and also find some information about where those events are held if you are interested in seeing if you qualify for some assistance. Then we want to be sure that you're staying abreast of tax scams and consumer alerts. Guys, scammers, they're on top of everything. I mean, right now with Hurricane Ian having gone across Florida and now coming up the coast right now, scammers are in full effect asking for you to make donations to their charity. And so they're always on top of what's going on. There are always tax scams that are going on. Tax season is the prime time for phone scams. Know that the IRS is never going to call you. So, anyway, yeah, you can head to this page, irs.gov/newsroom/tax-scams-consumer-alerts, and learn more about what's going on there so you can be aware just in the event that something happens to you. And that fifth one was to learn about the interactive tax assistant. So this is, you can help learn more about your filing requirements, the standard deduction, eligibility for certain credits, and your correct status, or I'm sorry, your correct tax. And it takes about 5 minutes to go in and start filling out information, but you can get a whole lot of assistance here that is tailored a little bit more to your specific scenario. And designed for taxpayers that were U.S. citizens or resident aliens for the entire tax year for which they are inquiring about. So yeah, IRS.gov is not just for tax filing info. There's also a wealth of other information available. And I hope that was informational for you, as it was for me. I learned a little bit about those tax volunteer opportunities is actually really interesting. I was always someone who, I liked math, but not enough to totally pursue it. And but taxes were always kind of, I don't know, I was interested by them. I think I've always been interested by being able to understand confusing things. And so I've always been intrigued by taxes and tax law and how that all works. But anyway, well, I hope this was informational for you. Again, this has been 5 things that you can find on irs.gov besides tax filing information. I appreciate you again listening in to my podcast. I am your host, Becky Easton, and this podcast, again, if you're just tuning in recently, is born out of a challenge to publish a podcast episode every single day for a whole year. And we are above 50 so far, so we are chugging along, and I absolutely love it. I really appreciate my listeners out there. And if you ever have an idea for an episode, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. You can email, I need to get an email address set up for the podcast. I have not done that yet. But anyway, you can email info@eastonlawpllc.com with questions, comments, any of that. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.